going on, guys? It's been a minute since we posted a video. Haven't been doing much besides working. So I finally decided to pull the motor out and replace our oil pump. While I'm in there, I'm gonna go over the bearings and refresh them, put a new set in just to make sure everything's just good. A few days ago, I've been trying to diagnose like a rough running condition, and I somewhat narrowed it down to my injectors are starting to go out. I've had them for a few years. They lasted a long time running E85 only, but it's finally time to upgrade. The way I narrowed it down was like every day I wouldn't drive my Z. The longer it sat, the leaner it would be at idle. So these are the filters that I used to run, and they would basically sit right there. Well, I had to remove them and make kind of like a turbo guard, if that's what you want to call it, basically to protect the turbos. It does have like multiple layers of this material, and as soon as I swapped those out, the air fuel ratio started to normalize. Before it was like at 17, 18, and now it's where it should be again. I'm thinking maybe my filters just got clogged and they weren't allowing the engine to breathe properly anymore. But while I was trying to diagnose that, I was checking my fuel pressure. I cleaned the mass airflow sensor. I put a brand new set of spark plugs. I went through a whole bunch of different things to narrow it down, and then when I started ohming out my injectors, I had a weird issue where the passenger bank ohmed out of spec, but as soon as you would let the car warm up, they dropped back into the 14 ohms range, which is normal, and then it would stay at that range for a few days until the car sat again. For the longest, I've ran a single MAF setup. It's basically it comes with a JWT, it's called a drivability hose. And yeah, this is very old and outdated. It's not very accurate because it only meters air from whichever side that you're measuring it, and basically divides it or multiplies it by 2. We're finally going with a Selin MAF translator so we can get like basically the most gains out of our setup. Alright guys, I got the radiator out. There's my electric fan with my condenser, and this is a shroud that I made to kind of redirect the airflow through the condenser. And I bought this hose a long time ago. It's like a flexible hose, and I like to use it right here once I remove the radiator, because the block still has the block still has coolant in it, and so I don't make a mess when I pull the car back in the garage. I put that on there so we're not dripping coolant all over the floor. Most of the Z is taken apart. The oil is drained. I've just been pretty busy with work lately. We did get some new parts in. This is our Selin translator kit. So now we can truly run our dual MAFs. I've got some spare bearings that I'm gonna go over once I replace the oil pan and the oil pump. And these are the new injectors that we picked up. The reason why I went with this company is because they offer a 3-year warranty as opposed to AUS, which only has a 1-year warranty. And as most of you guys know, I've been pretty limited by my fuel system, but hopefully that won't be the case anymore. These are 1200cc injectors. Yeah, they were not cheap, so I'm hoping they work out pretty well. I've already pulled them out of this package, ohm test them individually, and they all check out, which is a plus. But for now, I'm gonna see how much more I can take apart with this before I have to go to work. All right, we got the engine out. Tranny still in place. I did what I did the previous time. I lowered the cross member. The AC compressors resting on the front sway bar. So is the alternator and the power steering pump. Alternator still attached. The transmission is resting on the jack as well, so it's not, the full load isn't on the transmission mount. Yeah. I'm gonna take the sprocket off as well, because we're gonna need to remove it to replace the oil pump. Alright guys, I haven't been filming too much because I've been trying to speed through everything, but this is where we're at right now. And I was going through all the bearing clearances and they're all pretty good. They're right at the 0.015th mark, which is good. We still need to clean up the oil pump area before we can put the replacement on. Yeah, we're getting there. Alright guys, I'm gonna introduce you to my DIY compression tester. Right now I have all of the spark plugs removed, and I've got this bell housing that's cut off. There's only a flywheel in here, and I've got the battery harness for the starter, and I've got a battery here only. The way you make the engine rotate is by this cable here, just touching it on the positive lead on the solenoid. And the motor turns over. Alright guys, this is where we're at right now after our compression test. I'm on a bit of time crunch because I have to go to work right now, but I just need to put the clutch, flywheel, throw it back in the car, and put everything back together. The injectors, I think I'm going to install at a later date. But yeah, this is where we're at. Sorry we haven't been posting too many videos. We've been really busy with work. Stay tuned for future videos and see how it turns out. Stay tuned for this Z, guys. We're going to be doing a 120K kit on it and a few other things.